Hello everybody, I'm Nightcat. Today we are taking a look at Software Inc. This is a new simulation game by Core Jumping. It's on early access on Steam. And it is about kind of managing and expanding and building a software development company. So let's start a new game. And so this is kind of the startup thing. You can choose how you can kind of design your founder character. We'll call our company, I guess, Nysoft Inc. Sure. And we'll name our founder Nightcat, and we can change a little bit of how he looks here. Apparently, the long-term plan is that this is going to look a little more kind of claymation-y. So that is kind of neat, but for now, we'll go brown hair. And let's change his pants or shorts. I think he looks a little more dignified in pants, but let's make him into kind of like blue jeans, maybe. There we go, and we'll give him a long shirt. Yeah, we'll make him a little Steve Jobsy. And then we can choose kind of his personality trait over here. Right now he's a misanthropist and cocky. I think maybe we'll just stick with that. Sure, why not? And then down here we can kind of choose his skills and his specializations in designing, coding, and artwork. I think we're just going to leave it all where it is. No real need to change that now, I don't think. And then we can change some of the game settings over here. We got starting money. We got the starting year is 1980. I'm going to raise the money up to start with 10 grand. Because it seems like if you start with less than that, it can get a little dicey once you get in there. We're starting at medium difficulty. You can change the days per month. I think it does elongate the development cycle if you choose a longer period. So like every kind of day period in the game is 1 month. And things that would have taken 1 month to complete, if you changed it to 2 days, now it takes, still 1 month, but it goes over 2-day periods. So I think we're just going to stick with 1 for now. So let's start the game. And then we're in here, so we got kind of this big area in here where we can build our company. So unlike, say, Game Dev Tycoon or, things like that, we actually have kind of an area to work with that we can construct places in. So we can build our office here, and we're going to go a little bit cheap to begin with, I think. So we'll just put 1 building right there. Because... there, put a door right there. Put a window out the back. Because we're not going to have a lot of money to work with just yet. So I'm going to slap some furniture in here. Let's put a table in there. Let's put a computer in there on the table. Put a chair. Actually, let's lower the wall. Oh, there we go. Put a chair in front of the computer. What's this little thing? It's going to temperature will vary a lot in this room. Add more radiators and ventilators. So we'll put a ventilation in there, and we'll put a radiator in there. Then I control the temperature in the winter and the summer. So that leaves us with $8,840 to work with. I don't think we need anything. Well, maybe some lighting. Maybe we'll put an overhead light in there. I think that's all we need for now. There are other things that we can build. So we can build... we can make, like a fridge and a coffee maker to make like a break room kind of thing. We can put toilets in for a bathroom. And once you start hiring staff, you do need those things because the staff actually have kind of requirements that they need to do these things. But if you're just kind of starting out, your founder does not have those needs. So we don't actually need to provide those for him, which makes this a little bit easier in the beginning. So... let us go back over to the actual play mode here. And I guess our first project, we're going to start making a game. Now, this is how you design basically all the software. So we have a bunch of different options in here. We can make an operating system, visual tool, an audio tool, a game engine, or a game. There are some other ones that, as time advances into time periods where these things would have existed, more software types become available. So you can make an antivirus system. You could make like web-based games, that kind of thing. So as we get kind of further along, those things will become available. There's also contract work you can take in here, and you get paid kind of a set fee for completing them. But I think we're just going to go ahead and make our own original IP. So we selected game. We're going to choose the product name. I don't know. Let's call it Tetroid. Classic 80s video game. You could have a source control management server, but since we don't own a server, we don't really need one. But it makes your programmers work better, especially if you have like a group of them. And then if you have a multiplayer game, you would choose kind of a server to host it on. It looks like there's only one operating system in existence, so we'll go with that one, I suppose. And then we need to choose a game engine. Let's expand this a little bit so we can take a look at it here. Now, what's the most recent one? Because it's probably one of the better ones. This one's rated as good. Released last year, we'll take that one then. And you see over here we have a licensing fee. So when you try to use a new product in your game or your project, you have to pay a licensing fee for the game engine, for the audio tool, for the visual tool, for the operating system. So the licensing fee is $207. So we're up to $2,007.99 in licensing fees. Most of that is from the operating system. Now let's add, there's a great visual tool from last year. I'll pop that in there. Audio tool. That's a great one from last year. So total licensing fees are $2,783. Eventually, if you keep doing well enough, the licensing fee becomes nominal. It's almost non-existent. So we're going to be text-based game. We're going to have AI. And let's throw in some quality assurance. Best case quality is bad. Fair enough. Develop it. So we'll skip ahead. We got the time controls up here. We can go slow, fast, faster. And then we can just kind of skip time when there's nobody around. So we're going to do that and get right into this. 6 a.m. the next morning. Let's put it on fastest. Our dude should show up at around 8. There he is. So then you can see over here, he's working on designing it, and this bar will keep going up, and it shows you the progress on the various aspects of the project that are being completed. And he's gone home for the day. So this might take a little bit of time, because he only got about 20-ish% through that. You also have skills. So if we go into the HR here, we got manage employees, and we can look at... So let's turn skills on there. So we got design skill, and it's slowly increasing as you can send them for education in certain types of design. Like if we click on it, we can see we have base skill, and then we can have 2D system audio design. As you do the work, you get better at it, or you can also send them away to be educated in it, which costs a bit of money. Like if we sent him for, let's say, 2D design education, $1,800 would be the cost, plus he's out of the office for a month, or up to 3 months. So it's probably best we'll just go ahead and keep working, plugging away on Tetroid. And I think I'm going to just kind of skip ahead to when he's got the design phase done. Alright, it's now June of 1980. The design phase has pretty much come to a completion. He's got it more or less maxed out. If you keep going, it seems like it loops back on itself and starts going down. So you can, I guess, over-design a game. So we'll set him to develop this now. Click the little development button. So now he's actually in the alpha phase of the project. He's working on the actual code. Typing, much like I do. Just full arms straight out. Elbows locked. You can switch, if you had, like, more employees and teams of employees, you can assign the project to other groups. So right now we just have the core team, which is just this dude. But if we had other ones, we could assign it to, like, a programming team or something. Or just a team that only does game work, that kind of thing. So he's gonna bang away on that. And And we'll speed the time up here. And you can kind of see it moving up a bit. You can see there's it looks like on the progress bar there, that it's kind of, there's one bar that starts about halfway, and then there's another bar to the left of that starts at the very beginning of the line. The one that starts halfway, I think, is like the art. So right now he's working on art. The art for the work is complete. Now he's moving over to the actual code, which takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to jump ahead to the end of the alpha stage, and I will see you there. Okay, so the alpha stage has come to a completion. So now we're in the beta. Let's promote it to beta. And he'll work through that pretty quickly. Fixing a couple bugs. And we can now release it. And so our first game is now in the market. Let's send our guy home. Send employee home. So we'll skip to the next day, and we can see what kind of profits we made. We made $9,738 yesterday. Of that, our software sold $9,777.57 worth of sales. Not bad. It's also getting pretty dirty in there. We should probably call it the janitor, or the cleaning staff. A product has been reviewed. Nicesoft releases Tetroid. So Nicesoft Inc. released a new game, Big Whoop. Thank you to Software Times. So I want to show you some other features, and rather than just kind of playing through this at the moment, I am going to jump over to a different game that I've already got going. Let's save this. Make sure you want to overwrite. No. Save game as Nicesoft Inc. Game saved. Okay, let's load up this other one I had going, another Nicesoft game. Actually, let's go with your company name here that I forgot to name. So this is a game that I was trying to make work. This is kind of one of the earlier ones, but you can see I've got a bunch of employees here now. And we're at $2,443. We're working on a marketing thing. So let's actually start, actually let's look at what teams we got here. So we got just the core team. If we look at the employees, we got a marketer, we got some artists. These guys are just programmers. And then there's me, who has kind of maxed out stats. Let's change this guy's role to programmer, and programmer, since that's what they are. And I guess I'm the only designer. So we'll get them working. You see we got a janitor, or the cleaning staff who's going around cleaning stuff up. Clean up all those footprints. Let's start a new project here. Original IP, what do we got? We got Windows 4D was our latest operating system. Let's make Windows 5. And we have a server, so we'll set that up as the SCM server. And we're going to put a GUI in there. 3D rendering, plug and play, multitasking, multi-threading, networking, 8-bit audio, no, HD audio, and QA, quality assurance. Let's develop that. Yes, I want to continue, even though it's a small team. So, you can see the people working here. We got the marketer working there, we got me working there. Everybody else is just kind of sitting around sleeping because nobody else has design experience. But how about we break up this, I'll show you the kind of different teams here in a second. But, since we got this money, one thing we can do is we can go look in insurance policies here. So, in order to hire somebody, you have to put money kind of into the insurance policy, and you can attract better employees who want to work for you. So, if you put a little bit of cash in here, deposit it, and then you can get kind of better employees when you go into the hiring process, which is in here. So if we wanted to hire a program, let's hire a designer. We need a designer because we just got me. So let's hire a 3D designer. Let's put some money in there. So you put some money in here and it ends up looking for, you also attract better candidates. So let's begin looking. And we got some options here. And it kind of lists their age and kind of the score, which is kind of how good they are at the job that you're looking to hire somebody for. how much money they want, and then you can just hire them there, or you can send them for an interview. So let's look for somebody cheap, and usually young people are cheap. How about that one? That's pretty cheap for the score they have. Interview them, so then you can see all their skills and their stats. They're not very good at leadership. They got a little bit in leadership, but they're good, relatively good designer, and then they have just kind of moderate stats in design. We might be able to find somebody better. It also tells you their personality traits, which can gel and make them compatible or not with the group. What about this person? Very compatible with the group. Decent-ish design stats. Are probably only going to be working in 3D now. Anyway, we don't really need 2D stats. So let's hire them. Let's hire that person to be our designer. Put them on the team. Alright. They're not going to show up until tomorrow. So let's just power through the day. And jump ahead. Next day, everybody's in. So now we got 2 people working on... Actually, let's go manage teams, manage the employees on here. Where's that new person? Change the role she fills to designer. So now she will keep working in the design phase. Let's end the marketing job and start pre-marketing Windows 5. So that's in the core group. The marketer's working on it. Meanwhile, me and the design person are working away in here, and you can see now we have all these different things that are part of the design process. You got the general, you got 2D, you got 3D, system, network, audio. So as you kind of work into larger projects, you need to get people who have the stats that can actually fulfill those. Other thing you can do with the money is you can buy stocks. We can buy stocks in our company if we needed to. We don't really need to because we already own the entirety of our company. But you can also take a loan if you get kind of into trouble with money. You can see all the software available in the marketplace, and you can kind of sort it by various types of web apps, antiviruses, other operating systems. Let's corner the market here. So we have the Windows 4 operating system, was the last operating system we put out right there. It's great, but it's currently insignificant. The trendy new one is the Door Slim 2 by Fistware Fly. So let's go look at companies. And let's find Fistware Fly. Oh, actually, I don't know if we can, because our reputation's kind of in the tank. But... stock. Yeah, our reputation is too low to actually buy stock at the moment. But maybe we can do that in a different save. So let's save this, and I'll show you what happens when you buy companies. Save. Load. Let's go over to this one. Yeah, reputation here is maxed out up here, so we're at 6-star reputation. So we can go look at all software, all companies. Now, we did, I think, make an operating system. So let's look at our releases. We did. We put out the Linux operating system on this one. So let's go back to all software, operating systems. These are our competitors. Door 2 is kind of our major competitor, released a few months after ours. Looks like it's currently the popular operating system, put out by Theta Limited. So, let's look down through here for Theta Limited. There they are. Stock. We could afford to buy them. So, let's buy up all of their shares. There we go. And it actually increases our money. So, we bought them out, and we received the rights to their operating system, as well as whatever other company whatever other products they put out. So now we own our operating system and the competitors. Now if we kind of move in here, there we go. So now we own all of these things. We could also buy Slide Limited. Where's that? Do they no longer exist? Slide string. Maybe they no longer exist. And then there's always the GOS operating system, which put out by the company Frist, that you can't buy. I guess to ensure that some operating exist on the market, because when you start the game, it kind of randomly generates existing software. So it's possible no operating system could exist, so I guess there always has to be one. Well, let's buy out. Who's got worth less than what we... There we go. We can buy this company. Could buy this company, and theoretically, I think this is maybe a little bit of a bug, but you could totally buy out every single competitor, because every time you buy a company, you know, our money goes down a little bit, but then when you actually complete the purchase, we're up to 2.6 million now. Let's buy these guys. 2.9. 3.5. So I think maybe this section of the game needs a little bit of sorting out, but currently it's almost like an infinite source of money once you get enough cash to start buying out some companies. Yeah, now we got 7, 8.9, $9.8 million, 10.9, $12 million. And you can kind of corner basically every market. Suddenly, you know, other companies will pop up once you buy out everybody. More companies will be created that enter the market and start competing with you again. But as it stands, that's kind of the kind of maybe a mechanic is not entirely fleshed out at the moment. So I think maybe that is where we will call this. I think it was a good first look at Software Inc. A very cool game, cool kind of software development and management game. I like that you can kind of assemble the office and put that together and then have different teams. In fact, that's what we were going to do here, wasn't it? So let's do that. So right now we have a marketing team and we have a core team, which is the programmers. There's also a design team. Looks like they're sleeping right now. So let's start making a game. Oh, we're actually working on a thing first. So we're making an audio tool right now. And we're also marketing a visual tool. Let's wait for them to finish up the audio tool. Shouldn't take them long. Our programs are pretty good. There we go. So we got a little coffee room down here. Server room there. This bathroom's along that wall. Meeting room up here, which I haven't entirely figured out how to get people to use the meeting room yet. But, looks like this is done. Let's promote that to beta. They come in, finish up the work. Looks like our other program is on vacation. We'll release that. So there we go. So now we've released the visual tool. Let's start making a game. And we will call it Lario Bros. Original IP for the Linux operating system. And you can see down here, OS coverage is 31.59%. If we add Door 2 to that, now we're up to 63% coverage. Just kind of increases the audience on which your programs, or that your programs can reach. We'll put this on the Source audio, or Source game engine. Where's our... What do we own? This is the one we own. Render Suite 3 appears to be the best. And what else do we own? Amplitude Shop. Yeah, but that's kind of crappy. I want... Where's the one I made? Render Pro. I think was the one that mine was called. Render Pro. No? Render Pro by a different company. Okay, company, me. There we go, that one, Render Pro, with no space. And then company Mine was Soundmaster. There it is. So because we put in 2D graphics capability into our visual tool, we can now do 2D graphics in our game. So let's start development. We'll assign it to the design team to begin with and start that. So we'll get them working on that. And then once they finish the design work, we'll shift it over to the core team. Oh, everybody wants a pay raise. I'll accept them all. Every December, most of your employees will start asking for pay raises, which can get pricey, but if you're making money, you're not in a terrible situation. Alright, so the design work is done. We'll move it to development, and we'll reassign it to, let's put it on the art team, and get them working on the art. So now that that is done, how about we start making another game? Ball of Duty. Big old Ball of Duty. Server, we'll put it on the same operating systems again. Get that coverage out there. We'll put it on the same game engine. We'll choose our visual tool, and we'll choose Soundmaster Audio. Give it AI and quality assurance, 2D graphics. So put that back in the design team, set that to develop. So now we got two projects kind of working side by side here. Still need 2D art. Slowly being worked on. Everybody gone home. Should probably hire a second artist. So there we go. Now the design is finished on this. We will switch it to development. We'll reassign that one to the core team. So the core work is being done on that one. The art is finishing up on this. Let's skip to the next day now. Looks like the art is complete. I'm going to reassign this over to Wait. So there's nobody on the Wait team. The Wait team are just kind of a parking spot for projects that, let's end the marketing of Render Pro. Let's start marketing Lario Brothers. Put that over to the marketing team. So the coding is done on that. Let's promote it. Assign it to the art team. Reassign this over to the core team. Art for Ball of Duty is done. Let's release it. Oh crap, I didn't do that. Oh well. You know what? It's going out. I should not have promoted that. I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh well. I guess it's going out without a lot of art. So now we have this one being worked on. And then you can keep doing that. So you can keep just creating projects. And then moving them around to the different teams. If you have multiple programming teams, it makes them maybe a little more efficient. Multiple design teams, multiple art teams. There becomes a lot of things that you can manage in here to make a lot of money. Because I assume that the ability to just buy out competitors is probably going to be eventually not there. Anyway, so that was a look at Software Inc. Thank you for watching. And I'll probably continue playing that, the one we started with a little bit more, a couple more episodes. And I hope you enjoyed it. So once again, I'm Nightcad. Take care.